Hey guys, it's Tessa. So firstly, you'll see new hair alert. You might have already seen my hair in the other video I'm filming at the moment. I don't know when this one's going up. Basically, I just want to hop on here and have a little chat. I think at the start of this year, I said I'm going to focus a little bit more on myself for projects and things like that, which is still true. But I'd like to add to that and say, I think what really was needed for me was like a month-long break of just not existing really and just kind of making some stuff for me and not giving myself deadlines and stuff, because that does tend to stress me out over time. So that month is officially over and I'm back to business, everybody. I still think I'm at least going to temporarily, I think, have my Shopify shop on pause. I am working on transferring all the listings over to Etsy though, so that shop will still stay open. And you're always welcome to use the Gibby20 discount code for 20% off, because the items on Etsy are slightly more expensive just to accommodate all of their fees and all that stuff. But really, I wanted to come on here and just talk about some of the stuff I'm working on. First one is I'm working on another cardigan. It's this one pretty much. I'm pretty much making it the exact same, give or take a couple blue shades. I am really, again, making it a goal to work through my stash, so that means I need to work through everything you see behind me if I can. So cardigans are a great way to do that. Additionally, a new item I'm going to be adding to my shop once I complete the first version of it. Custom baby blankets, I think, or just blankets in general. I think I'm gonna start with baby blankets though. I'm working on I'm working on a blanket pattern right now for like a baby blanket, and it's using the Loops and Threads Petite Pearl. It's their version of like a skinnier, thinner, Michael's version of like a skinnier, thinner, closer to like a weight 3 Juicy Couture or Bernat Velvet. It's a lot like that basically. So I'm hoping to make the first blanket draft out of that probably within this month. I don't know. I'm not really trying too hard about it, but my thought is I'm going to combine two of my favorite hobbies, which is crocheting and sewing. I think I might create a corner piece of fabric that has like initials or a name on it potentially. And that can be customizable obviously along with the color and all of that stuff. Anyway, that's one of the new items I'm thinking of adding. I'm also thinking about leaning a little bit more into plushies. I don't really know if that's 100% something I want to do, because I've talked about this several times I think over the last year or two. I don't love making plushies, however I know they do sell the best. So I think what I might do is just find plushie patterns specifically that I either enjoy myself to make or just enjoy in general. My goal is to not have the same thing as everybody, and I think it's kind of most crochet business owners' goals essentially. So I think I'm going to do a lot more pattern testing with plushies this year. I also think I'm going to lean into maybe some more alternative attire. Like I have this pattern I've had for a long time, and it's basically a Wendigo tapestry, shawl's not the word, poncho, there we go. I've had that pattern for a really long time. Another crochet pattern designer on Instagram is releasing a pattern that's also like a poncho, but it has a hood with like ram horns, so that's really exciting. I applied to test knit for it. I don't think I got selected though, unfortunately, but that's okay. I don't care. I love this person's stuff. I'll put her name here in the post if I can remember, or if I can remember her information, but that is something I'm really excited for to release, something I'm really excited to make potentially as well. I think I'm also going to lean a little bit into the animal hoods I was making. Those sold really well and got a lot of traction. So I'm thinking of releasing more of those or recreating some of them with the yarn I have, and seeing how that kind of works out for me. Additionally, I think I'm going to do more cardigans. I think I might offer a secondary style though. So I'm going to keep doing the same oversized fit that I've been doing, like I showed in that picture of the cardigan. But I think I'm also going to lean into like a cropped, more fitted style. Just so that there's options, because obviously not everyone loves oversized. I'm not always in the mood for oversized, you know, so on. So I think those are kind of my main goals here. Or not goals, I think those are kind of like my current, at least, project plans. I'm not 100% sure, just because, again, I'm currently in the mood for creativity, but I'm not always in the mood for creativity. Let me show you how far I've gotten on the cardigan. So I've gotten through, I think, all but one row of the green, which if I work on it tonight, I could probably get through all the green. But we have this section done so far, so I still have the last row of the green, 4 rows of the blue, 3 rows of purple, and a row of black at the end. So that's really nice. I'm kind of blasting through this a little bit faster than I thought I would as well. So I might have this done by the weekend, which is nice. Also working on, I think I've talked about it in a couple of my videos so far this month, I'm also working on a pair of stays for myself. And I'm tempted, depending on how those turn out, I'm tempted to maybe offer those in my shop as well. Maybe I lean fully into the cottagecore vibe that I personally want to do so that it's accessible for everybody. I'm not 100% sure on that either though. Let me know your thoughts, and of course we'll go from there. Let's see, was there anything else I wanted to talk about? That might be everything, and this might just be a random upload I do, honestly. I don't really know at this point. I think it's just gonna be a random upload, but really I just wanted to come on here and tell you guys that I'm back in the zone. All right, I'm ready. Let's talk about a couple of my whips though that I still have working on, and yeah, that'll probably be helpful. So we haven't talked in a while because you know, mental health, all that jazz. But I have made significant progress on the Alex and Sophie Hood Frankensteining I'm doing. So we have the entire right side done, and I'm now working on the left side in the brown color. It's going to show up a little bit more black on camera here. I'll try to fix it when I'm editing. But I am doing the ribbing pattern of the Alex hood with the oh my gosh, what is the word? Formula? That's not the right word. I can't think of the correct word at the moment. But with the design of the Sophie hood. So I have gotten, again, a decent amount of progress done on this. We finished the whole first side of the hood, and so I'm still working on the other side. I'm a little bit worried about blocking this because what if, you know, I still didn't make it wide enough? But even then, when I put it on my head and I fiddle with it a little bit, I can see that it's going to be able to be pulled wide enough, like, no problem. So that's really nice as well. I'm eager to get this one done. I'm a little bit curious about the experiment I'm unintentionally running on it. This whole first side, like I've mentioned previously, is in the Malabrigo Rio in the color Glitter, which if you don't use this yarn, it is a superwash merino, which just means it's formulated differently. I don't know a lot about superwash versus non-superwash. However, here comes the problem. This brown here is not superwash and is technically a weight 3 instead of a weight 4. So my solution to this has been, I knit kind of tight in general. So my whole side done with the superwash is done a little bit tighter than usual. And then the entire side here with this brown is being knit at a much looser gauge. So I'm hoping by the time I get done with it and I'm ready to block it and all of that, I just have to match the brown side's measurements to the width of the Malabrigo side. I know this doesn't make a lot of sense right now, but I'm cooking something up here, okay? So trust me when I say I might have it figured out. I don't know that for sure, so don't quote me. I'll probably make a whole video talking about my experience with Frankensteining these patterns, as well as my experience with blocking this project and how that ended up going for me. I also don't mind if it's not perfectly even, because it kind of gives a little bit of character anyway. I am still working on my ranunculus as well. I did a fit test earlier. I cannot do a fit test for you guys because it is a little bit see-through. For those of you who don't know, the ranunculus is done on 6mm needles in either a worsted weight yarn or anything less than that. And I'm using a fingering, I believe. This is the Drops Baby Merino in Olive Mix. And I've gotten pretty far. I'm doing the short sleeve version and it says I need 7 inches for the body. Hey, fun fact, 7 inches doesn't cover enough for me. So I think I'm gonna do closer to 12 or 13. It's supposed to be more of a cropped fit, I think. It's still gonna be a cropped fit on me, but currently at this length, it looks like it's decently long, but at that length, it just barely covers my chest fully. So that's a little scary. I think it's at like 6 inches, 6.5 maybe. So I think my goal is 10 or 11, maybe even 12 inches in length. The armholes are a little bit high. I'm hoping that will block out. Since this is also a super wash, I'm pretty confident it'll block out for me, just a tiny bit. And if it doesn't, oh well, I'll just kind of suck it up. But that is where we're at on this. This is probably gonna be my next completed project, honestly, for my knitting. I also have my birthday cardigan that I haven't really been working on because I just haven't had the energy, so that hasn't changed. Actually, I've picked up the stitches for the front right and done nothing else with it, so really no progress has been done. What other projects? I'm still working on the skirt. You can see it a little bit here in this corner. I'm still just doing the binding. It's killing me. I'm doing it by hand, as I mentioned in another video, so it sucks and it's really frustrating actually. Not even frustrating, it just takes a lot of time and effort, and my brain really loves instant gratification. So hand sewing does not do that for me. But I've been working on it regardless. I think I'm at just under halfway with it, which is nice. Two things. On the stays I was talking about earlier, I think I mentioned in one of my last videos as well that I currently I don't have long enough plastic / zip ties for the stays that I want to make. So what I'm going to do instead is use cording. I believe back in the 1900s, you know, clock me if I'm wrong here. Back in either the 1900s or even potentially before that, before we used whale bleen, which is what originally the like stiff bar of corsets were made out of, we used cording, and in general we've used cording across the board. So I'm gonna do that instead, I think. And all cording is quite literally like it sounds. It's just a braided cord, but I'm crocheting a chain instead of braiding it manually. So I'm gonna do that, and I think it'll do pretty much the exact same for me with no real issues, which is nice. And then I'm also working on more beanies. My knit beanies are one of my best-selling items. I just sold 2 more of them actually a couple days ago. But it uses the After Dinner Laughs by I Love This yarn, and it's also holding a strand of the Impeccable Stripes by Loops and Threads, and it's unicorn stripe. So it's working out kind of nicely. It's really reminding me of like, I don't know why this is what I'm thinking of, but like 80s, 90s gender neutral baby kind of energy. It's also just kind of reminding me of like a carousel. I don't know why. Like the old ones that have like the creepy looking unicorns, you know, that's kind of the vibe I get from it. Let me know if you get another vibe. I don't really know. But I'm working on a bunch more beanies, or I'm planning a bunch more beanies to then have them worked on. Hopefully this next couple months, since we're still in the winter. That or I'll plan them out for the end of this year as well and do it that way. But that, I think that concludes everything, honestly. I hope you guys enjoy this. I hope you stick around with me. If you want to, subscribe. If you have any comments, questions, feedback on anything I've talked about, let me know below. You can also follow me on Instagram or Facebook or TikTok. I don't post super often on TikTok. I'm trying to. But you can also find me there if you have any questions. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.